Satoru freaking Gojo is back, but he's confirmed dead. In the end, everyone's ideals and outlook on Jujutsu is just catching up to Sukuna, as he claimed love is worthless, which Yuta is finding out is kinda true now, as he has to defile Gojo's body and give up on his promise he made to Rika, as he states sorry to her in this chapter. It's a bad omen and going back on a decision when you move the wedding ring from left to right hand as the chapter portrayed. Now, think about it. Gojo was the man who stopped Yuta's execution and nurtured him into who he is, claiming he didn't want Yuta to be lonely unlike him. In fact, what comes next plays a major role. Yuta and Gojo are distant relatives, as he was told that he's a descendant of Sugawara no Michizane. However, Uru, who was from the Heian era, claimed that Yuta was from the Fujiwara clan. When Yuta brought this up, Gojo stated that there was a chance Yuta was born even more blessed than him, because he might be a descendant of both these powerful families, even though they had a feud with each other. This plays a factor in Gojo's takeover, as there's a chance that Yuta's soul will have a high affinity to Six Eyes and Limitless, therefore allowing him to exist inside Gojo's body and use his abilities to the max. Now, let's discuss why Gojo chose South and has been confirmed to be dead, as he had no problems with Yuta's plan, having full intention to win the battle. Let me remind you that a sorcerer is only powerful when they are a little crazy in the head and they take the risk to win. As Gojo stated, dying to win and risking death to win are completely different. He was supposed to kill Sukuna by any means necessary, because he had been a tool for the Jujutsu world his entire life. Gojo was dehumanized by his strength, which is why in chapter 261, he was reminded of Geto asking him, are you the strongest because you're Gojo Satoru, or are you Gojo Satoru because you're the strongest? Even when he got unsealed from the prison realm, he took all the blame for the destruction and death upon himself, not even blaming someone like Gakuganji. It was his duty as the strongest, which is why he wanted to be the one to kill all the higher-ups so that there would be no repeat of what happened after the Shibuya incident. Gojo had always considered this option, as we see back in chapter 10, but after returning, he knew they pulled the final straw. Basically, Gojo was thinking far into the future, securing it for his students and even letting Gakuganji take over. After all, Gojo trusts him, as mentioned in chapter 223. He refused to share the secrets of Principal Yaga's technique, and Gramps has changed for the better, which would make things better if he were at HQ. However, despite his students tagging along with him, Gojo asked them to leave to protect what was left of their innocence. There was always a monster in Gojo, which peeked out when he was fighting the curses at Shibuya, but he didn't want his students to see this, but they all insisted on staying with him, trying to ease his burden. But Gojo, he thinks of Geto. This is a callback to when Riko Amanai died. Gojo had a monster inside him, but his moral compass stemmed from Geto keeping him in check. He asked, should I kill every single person here, but was restricted via his best friend. But now, Gojo is implying that he became a monster to achieve his ideals, just like Geto did, and how the world perceived Gojo to be. Resetting Jujutsu society cannot occur without killing the higher-ups, especially since Kenjaku revealed he's controlling all the major clans behind the scenes. In a way, Gojo acknowledged that morality in the sorcery world is grey, and to achieve a dream, one must take away another's, as he was taught this harsh reality from childhood due to being brought up by the corrupt. Hence, Gojo used Jujutsu to satisfy himself, as Nanami mentioned in chapter 236, because what did Gojo even have to look forward to in life? He had the biggest purpose, but it was never his own. His identity was never separate from being the strongest. But to enjoy more peak fiction, watch this video about Rimuru and all his abilities, the actual strongest character in anime that can defeat Goku, Gojo, Sukuna, anyone you name.